fries, cheese and peas. Cheese and peas, man I lie. I got me say, when me taste the new cheesy fries. Just 5 bills with cream and cheese sauce. Or load it up your way, you are the boss. Everybody sing this part. Who want something really nice, thanks and please. BK new cheesy fries, cheese and peas.
Get the new cheesy fries, limited time only at Burger King.
If you love the vibes, the laughs, and the real talk, then you're one of us. Don't just listen, belong. Join the nationwide 90 FM Family Club on Patreon.
Jacob, creators join Jacob, Jacob. Creators join Jacob. If you write, compose or publish, guess what? Copyright every word, no lose up on cash. Money. Play by the rules, Jacob. I tell you that a simple 1 3 Jamaica. Guess what? Just do the right thing, do the right thing. What? Do the right thing, do the right thing. Yeah. Do the right thing, do the right thing. Music users try go get your license. Do it. Do the right thing, do the right thing. What? Do the right thing, do the right thing. Yeah. Do the right thing.
Here's Mbappe! Oh my word!
Radio coverage of the FIFA World Cup has never been this pivotal.
The 2026 staging will be a drive-time event. Given the times, the games will be played.
You'll definitely be on the move during a large portion of the games or unable to be in front of a television.
And that makes a nationwide coverage of the World Cup even more important, as you'll not miss a beat, whether you're in your car or generally on the move.
Alvaro Pereira hit by James! Oh, what a goal!
So make Nationwide 90 FM your company, your partner, and your source for unmatched coverage of the FIFA World Cup Finals this summer.
Now, they have got 7. It's Brazil 1.
Take us with you every move you make, June 11 to July 19, when the champions of the world are crowned.
Nationwide 90 FM now presents live action from the 2026 FIFA World Cup Finals.
Brought to you by our platinum sponsors, KFC, it's finger licking good. Gold sponsors, Digicel. Powered by you, connected by us. Urban Development Corporation, making development happen for you. Sagicor, wise financial thinking for life. National Road Operating and Construction Company, developing tolled roads for national development. Barita, making money work for you. Our silver sponsor, Anybet, and our bronze sponsors, Hose Assembly and Supply Limited, equipping Jamaica for success. Burger King, have it your way.
Which team you feel goes score the first goal? From all over.
For some, the World Cup has just started. It's a round of 32. Good afternoon and welcome to Nationwide 90 FM's continuous coverage of the FIFA World Cup Finals being played in Canada, Mexico and the USA. It's a round of 32 day and one game on the schedule for the round of 32. We're heading for the SoFi Stadium in California, and it will pit Canada against South Africa, two teams who are going into uncharted territory because they're making it to this stage of the World Cup for the first time ever. And of course, the Canadians, they played all their group matches at home, 2 in Toronto, 1 in Vancouver. They were all sold out events, and they really put a great deal into getting the support out for Canada, and they had an opportunity to stay in Canada to play their games, but no, they couldn't hold on to the Swiss, and they now have to travel to California, which they arrived in California 2 nights ago, and they've gotten in a lot of work to make sure that they're really ready for this one. And of course, the 6-0 rout of Qatar, where Jonathan David got a hat-trick, is the first hat-trick of the championship. In fact, there have been 2 hat-tricks so far of the championship. Jonathan David getting one of them. My name is Wayne Walker, and working out with me this afternoon, the outstanding combo of Andrew Price and Owen Hill. They'll be here to put their expert touch on our discussion here in the studios. But before we go to South Africa against Canada, there are other matters arresting our attention in the World Cup. To begin with, the round of 32 matchups have now been sorted out, and able producer Alex Swaby will be getting this up on the screen for those of you who have joined us on the YouTube channel. And we'll give you the matchups in a short time. We'll put them up for you to show you what's going to be happening in terms of, who will be playing who. The dates have already been sorted as well. We know tomorrow it's going to be a massive triple header featuring Brazil at noon and Germany at 3 o'clock. But gentlemen, let me draw you in quickly on the round of 32. Before the start of the World Cup, one of the questions, would 48 teams water the World Cup down, if I want a better term? And people have different reservations. I'm a fan of this 48-team tournament. What I've seen in the first round was brilliant. So let me answer that question first. Yes, I love it. I really do love it. So Owen, they're now on to 32. What you said at the start as it regards the 48 teams and whether it would water down the World Cup, having seen everything now, what's your have you changed?
No, I'm actually, still of the view that we were, skeptical about the number of teams, but for us, we always believe that football comes, at the top of the priority. So whoever is there, because this was the best, set of teams there, and what you saw is just everybody wanting to compete. So while, it has been expanded, it's a good expansion because the teams who are there now are jostling for positions, and it's now displaced what is considered the big 32s. Now you have an expansion, and when you look at a team like Cape Verde, or when you look at how the African teams have transitioned, I think it's literally for us in our part of the world very good, and hopefully this is the kind of performance that spurs other smaller nations because it gives them a real opportunity.
Andrew, you have a different view from what you had going in with the 48 and whether it would water the tournament down, having seen what you have now seen?
I had no problem with the 48, to be quite honest, and I said it very earlier that before it started, that 48 teams gives other teams opportunity to play in this magnificent tournament that wouldn't have gotten the opportunity to play. And when you look at the 48 teams, there are no minnows. You can't consider teams in the minnows. And what has happened is that the gap is closing rapidly. FIFA with its coaching development, FIFA with its infrastructure development, have started to assist these minnows into creating them into teams that are competitive, and no team looked like they were not deserving of being in the World Cup. All the teams participated well. When you think about a round of 32 taking place, there's no South Korea, there's no Uruguay in that round of 32, and you have teams like Cape Verde in there. Even South Africa, who is playing today,
correct,
for the first time they have qualified for the knockout phase. So definitely creates opportunities for teams who want to show that they can punch above their weight class.
Yeah. All right. So the round of 32, the pairings have been made. What's the pick of the bunch for you?
I mean, that's dependent on the question that it really means the pick. But when I look at Brazil versus Japan, I think that's a nice little clash that I'm looking forward to.
Could have been even better because they could have got Netherlands.
Definitely, but I mean, when I look at the matchups, as Andrew said, there's no minnows right here. Everybody earned their spot, whether that be through automatic qualify or that final third place spot that a few of the teams got. But again, littered across the World Cup is top quality talent in all these international teams, and I think just being at Canada, USA, Mexico, that environment seemed to be spurring on the players.
Yeah. So pick out a bunch for you, Andrew.
It will be Portugal, Croatia. I think
that's a pick for you?
That's going to be a big matchup.
It could have been worse. It could have been Portugal, England.
Yes, true. It could have been. But guess what? I think it's a good matchup. Matching different styles against each other. Matching the last of the Mohicans, where Modric and Cristiano Ronaldo,
yes,
for their final showdown. One will have to go home.
Right.
So it will be an exciting match. I also think that the Netherlands-Morocco match should also be another
Where did that come from at this stage, at 32?
Entertaining game. So yeah, we have some nice matchups in the round of 32, and the World Cup starts today.
You almost said tomorrow. You wouldn't be wrong. With all the today in South Africa, you wouldn't be wrong at all. But many people have been discussing the group stage and ask, who's the most impressive team so far. And I don't know. I really don't know. It depends on how you describe impressive teams, because we see impressive in different ways.
Right.
France, clearly, was going to be up there. Yes. Argentina would definitely be up there. But I think a team that a lot of people are sleeping on is Mexico.
Very much
They're
so.
going to be in there. They'll play all the games in the Azteca.
I am glad you brought up Mexico. Mexico hasn't conceded a goal for the entire tournament. They have scored 6 goals, and they haven't conceded any. They have looked quietly like a team that can make it to the quarterfinals. And I am so happy they have represented CONCACAF in such a meaningful way. And we said it before when we had our first program here, gentlemen, that home field advantage would suit Mexico more than the other 2 teams. And it certainly has.
And you mentioned Mexico. I mean, I want to jump in here. USA has also looked imperious. I mean, when you look at how they've gone about their own business, again, it's not the typical, hype over actual play. When you see how they actually execute their games and having that 12th man advantage, I think it's going to be massive. So any of these teams can pop up on any given day because it's win or go home right now.
For sure.
And I think the quality of the players across the pitch will make it for a really, really good tournament from here on in.
A good omen for Mexico is that every time they host the World Cup, they get to the quarterfinals all the time.
Yes.
And you can't help but to think that they're going to get there again. So who would be the most impressive so far to you coming out of the group stage?
Well, again, to me, hands down, it's France. Just based on how you see, they're playing, their fluidity, they look very comfortable on the ball. They seem, somewhat arrogant in how they're playing because, again, quality across the pitch. At the top, a number of players who at any minute can get goals, and then on the bench, you have a litany of players who also can come in. So when I see how France would have gone about their business, and then, obviously the Argentinas, but for me, France, country mile based on how they've gone about their business in the first set of games.
Well, how FIFA set the thing up, they said it that there are 4 teams who can't meet before the final. So it's France, Argentina, England, and Spain. They can't meet unless they meet in the final. But I really think I'm seeing an Argentina-France final, again. I really think so. I just think both of them were the best coming out of the group stage.
It's quite possible. I mean, if you look at the display of both teams, they have been very, very, very mechanical, very workmanlike, doing their job, getting maximum points. Both teams, Argentina changed almost an entire 11 and was still able to get a result in their last game. France changed the majority of their players, giving them a rest for the start of the knockout phase, and they still look very good. So the World Cup is to lose for France.
It's France's World Cup to lose.
It's for them to lose. For them to lose.
All right, gentlemen, we've spent a lot of time on other matters. What are we doing now? We're going to be focusing squarely on Bafana against Canada at the SoFi Stadium, kicking off in just about 13 minutes from now. It's been a wonderful World Cup. We keep having issues going into the World Cup and wondering what's going to happen. The World Cup there's nothing like it. The World Cup is going to be the World Cup. And every time we watch the World Cup, we think this one is better than the last one. We think Qatar was brilliant. USA so far, they're breaking records in terms of attendance. And there was immigration, concerns coming in. America don't need a single person to go in there to fill the stadium. Because every country in America, every country at the World Cup, have more people there than another country. So them will fill it. But the World Cup is going on brilliantly. So Canada against South Africa. You were here for the opening game and it featured South Africa. We saw them. And Andrew and I were talking off the air, Owen, and one of the things that we highlighted was that the South Africans, they get better with each game, which is what you want at a tournament. You want to improve on games.
Definitely.
And so the day they lost, 2 players against Mexico, right? So that would have really affected them a bit. They got better. They ended up 1-1 in their second game, and then they won the third one, and they needed to win it to get into the third round. What is that telling us about Bafana?
That there's some level of discipline that is instilled in the team coming out of that game number 1. Obviously, you saw that they had some jitters, and they were up against a better team. Mexico was way stronger, and that home crowd advantage in the Azteca or Mexico City Stadium, I think, just really overawed them. But again, we spoke about it, the quality that exists at the World Cup. I mean, it's bar none the best of the best across the world. So what we've seen for South Africa is that they've become defensively solid. It's not the traditional African teams that is, out there loosely, not defending well, etc. They're really very difficult to break down. And I think they've understood that if you don't score on us, it makes it way difficult for the game to go into, the next part of it, which is losing. So I think the South Africans, without any major names, what they've been doing is playing together as a unit, cohesive, very clinical in terms of how they've gone about strategizing. And I think I'll expect no different in this game, because I think they're going to be playing on the counter. I think they'll be springing surprises out wide, and they seem to be very athletic. So I expect that kind of game from them.
Andrew, if I was to pick a team to play in the round of 32, Canada would be right up there with the team that I would want. But we saw the 6-0 routing of Qatar to begin with, and it was jaw-dropping. They were really, really, really floating on that night. They didn't only score 6 goals, they were floating on the night. The problem is, they were doing it in Canada. How will they adjust to now travel, then play in a different country, a different city, not with the army of red around them?
It's the greatest show on earth. You have to make the adjustment. They would have wanted to have stayed in Canada and played in Canada, but the Switzerland team had other ideas. Now they have to go to the West Coast, all the way over to Los Angeles, and they just have to play. I'm sure several Canadians have traveled to Los Angeles because they have high expectation for the team. And I think they will play well. They're a good team. They're a disciplined team. They have some good forwards, people like David, very clinical up front. Larin, another good forward they have up front. And with their skipper in the middle of the park, I believe that they have a good shot to win the game today.
I've got a good coach in Jesse Marsh as well.
Of course, Jesse Marsh is a very good coach. Very
controversial
good coach.
For sure, but
definitely. Yeah. But like I said, it's a game it's going to take a lot of tactical acumen from both coaches to try and see how they can break down each other. The South African team likes to play in a low block and counter, while of course the Canadians like their slower build-up, using the flanks and getting the ball into their centre forward. So it's going to be a very good tactical matchup.
Yeah, so the teams are out on the field at the moment and going to the pre-game ritual. We see the Bafana, and they're making their way out as well. Many people didn't expect them to get into the second round as host Canada, and given the draw that they got for the group that they got, probably had expected Canada to get there, and they duly did. One of the things that I'm noticing though with this Canada team, or Canadian football over the last, say, maybe 10 or so years, it's almost like they're working on building a project. You get the impression it's not just for now. They're building out a team that will take them through maybe to the next generation of players coming around.
Well, when you look at their youth program, you can see the difference. A lot of children and immigrants are now getting into the sport, and I think they are really developing. There are a couple of Jamaicans or Jamaican heritage yes. on the Canadian team right now, and even Haitians. So they have a wide potpourri of players from countries outside of Canada that are assisting them right now, and they're definitely building. And they're doing the same thing on their women's program. They're ranked in the top 10 in women's football in the world.
Yes. Owen, Alphonso Davies is the most popular player on both teams combined. Yeah. Right. He's only played 2 90-minute matches this season for Bayern Munich, yeah? And we're expecting to see him here today.
He's actually in.
He's in the start?
Definitely.
Brilliant. And so the question is not if he's going to make a difference. He definitely will make a difference with his presence and, of course, his actual play. But you know what is sort of emotional for him? The long-term injury he suffered was at the Sophie Stadium when Canada played the 3rd place in the Nations Cup. So he's going back to the stadium that kept him out for the entire season for his return.
Yeah, so more than likely it's going to be an emotional push for him.
He won't be starting today, though.
He won't be starting.
He'll be on the bench, but he won't be starting. And I think that Jesse Marsh is taking his time with him. He doesn't want to expose him too early.
Right.
I think you'll see some amount of him today, but definitely not from the start.
But his impact is definitely going to be important. So, again, it was questioned about whether or not he'll be starting. As was said, he's not starting. But like you mentioned, his impact as the superstar player in the team, he will be, Gene on the team. He knows how important this is for the nation of Canada. And he can have some kind of impact in that. I'm sure he definitely wants a couple of that. So I'm certain that he will come on at some point if the game, seems to be out of their reach. But we expect them to start in the ascendancy.
So, South Africa, one of 9 African countries through to the round of 32. Who was the one that didn't make it?
Tunisia.
Yeah.
Tunisia. Sometimes I can't remember those countries. African.
Yes.
When I say Africa, I mean Congo,
Right.
South Africa, Nigeria.
Right.
The North Africans
Ghana.
separate
Yes.
themselves from everybody. But
Right.
that's a major achievement for CAF as a confederation to send 10 teams and 9 qualify
It's
for the
massive.
round of
It's massive.
32. Major progress and achievement for CAF.
And people were complaining that they got too many
Yes.
additional
Spots.
spots. Yeah. But look at CONCACAF. We've got, the 3 co-hosts are there.
Yes, definitely. Mexico, USA,
And
and
Canada.
Canada. Are they all
And the
in
others who didn't go, they made a very...
yes,
Haiti, I'm impressed with Haiti.
They participated well. Curacao did well also.
Panama did well.
Panama, they only lost games by the odd
One
goal.
game, yes.
Yeah. So, they performed well. So, it's a good thing for these other confeds that are not traditionally strong confeds
Yes.
to come there and prove that they can keep up with the big boys.
And it's the expansion that has done it.
That's
Definitely.
correct.
And
That's
funny
correct.
enough, the FIFA, they're looking at 64 for the next World Cup. Because it's a centenary of the World Cup.
2030.
Yeah. So they're going to have a couple of games in Uruguay, Uruguay won it the first one, and so they're going to have a couple of games in Uruguay and Argentina, and in the dead of winter, and then suddenly everybody move over to the warmer climes of Portugal and Spain. So they're looking at 64.
Can you
How would
imagine
that-
that?
64 on 3 different continents.
That shows you that we are really in a technological age where we can have games in South America and games in Europe going on concurrently.
Right.
Yes.
It's amazing.
I don't know, this water break thing, people are quarreling. Fox One in the USA, they are making $236 million for the water break, the commercials that they take in that.
the US initiate it?
Yes. So for those water breaks that annoy us, Fox making $239 million US dollars for those water breaks with commercials alone.
And
Money
some,
runs
and some
the
of the
world.
coaches love it too because they can make adjustments
Tactical.
during the break where they can see what's happening and make some adjustments. And we have seen teams benefit from these hydration breaks.
I fear for the English Premier League because they're going to see that money is in it, and they're going to jump there too. So let's see. All right, so the teams, they've gone through their pre-game rituals. They still have their sweat tops on, and they're going to be getting rid of them in a short while. So guess what? We're going to head over now to California, to the SoFi Stadium. It's South Africa Bafana against Canada in the opening game of the round of 32 at the FIFA World Cup. Enjoy. We'll be back with you for the second half.
Barita, making money work for you. Anybet, your best bet. Hose Assembly and Supply Limited, equipping Jamaica for success. Burger King, have it your way. Nationwide 90 FM's World Cup coverage, bringing you
Canada against South Africa. We started the day with 32 teams. At the end of business today, we'll have 31. And as we go along, we'll reduce and reduce and reduce and reduce. Andrew Price and Owen Hill still here with me. Gentlemen, watchable game. At best, the teams moving the ball about, but lacking cutting edge in the crucial area. It's a play to the finish, so they're going to be, going at it for the next hour or so, and I reckon, and if there's possible penalties or so on. But South Africa asked a great deal of the questions early in the game. They kept possession well. Canada also keeping possession. But as I said, the lack cutting edge is not great excitement. For me, it's watchable at best. You disagree?
Well, definitely watchable, but I think that Canada had the ascendancy in terms of the better chances. They got some clear-cut chances. When you looked at the Cornelius missed header,
yes.
You definitely want to get back that as a defender. You were unchallenged, and it was a beautiful ball, well-weighted, well-flighted. I think that should have been 1-0. And then the second melee in the box, Canada had a couple looks at it, but I think South Africa has been giving as best as they're getting. They look better coming out of the back. They seem to find spaces in key areas, but for some strange reason, it just doesn't seem to be clicking at the top for South Africa.
Andrew, what your halftime report says?
My halftime report says that it seemed that Canada didn't watch the Mexico-South Africa game because South Africa has a penchant to play the ball out of the back very methodically, and I don't see the high press that I was expecting from Canada to press them and try and get the ball. And a couple times, if you don't press them, they'll turn over the ball to you into midfield, and Canada hasn't made use of it. Most of the chances that Canada has taken have come from set plays, whether it's free kick or corners. They're not really looking potent up front, and I think it's going to be a game of attrition to see who makes the first mistake and who takes the opportunity. But this one looks like it's going for the long haul.
It's going the distance, you think?
It's going the distance.
Yeah, and it's a different mindset, because in the group stage, you come back tomorrow if you don't do well today. There's not coming back from this one. And so, in terms of the mentals, you sort of approach the game with that in mind.
Yeah, with a little bit more discipline. We were talking about at the start of the show how disciplined South Africa would have been in the last 3 games. I don't think that they're disciplined in this game. You see where, there is that oddball coming out the back and they're losing it. And Canada just hasn't made it, pretty much their game. They've not really shown that they are the host team. And I think credit must be given to South Africa. They're very speedy. I think they're comfortable. They tried to play that style of football, and it's working for them. But as Andrew said, it's probably going to go all the way based on what we've seen. And nobody wants to give up that first goal. I think that first goal will open up the game, depending on how it comes. But for the most part, what we're seeing is it's probably not going to come from open play.
That half-hearted shout for a penalty just before the end of the first half, the referee made the right call, you think?
Yeah, I think he got it spot on. The player actually played the ball before Larry got the touch. But it is a good shout, I would call for it if I was in the position of Canada. But I think it was a well-timed tackle. And the referee definitely said no. And it went to VAR. VAR agreed with him.
Well, which of the 2 teams do you think would be more comfortable playing in the conditions? California is very hot at the minute. The Canadians are used to playing in cooler climes. The South Africans, I don't think they have a problem with it, which is why they look so
To be
motivated.
honest, Wayne, I think at this point in the World Cup, all teams have adjusted to the climate and have acclimatized to what is happening. And it's just about playing, going out there and playing to the best of your ability. And like I said, it's going to come down to attrition. Who makes the first mistake and who capitalizes on that mistake. But both teams, I believe, in my opinion, are playing very cautiously. They're not throwing caution to the wind where they are over-attacking and leaving themselves exposed at the back. They are playing very cautiously. So it depends on who's, like Owen says, who scores first. It might very well open up the game and we see hell for leather after that. But right now, the two teams are playing very cautious and are looking to see who is going to make the first mistake.
Yeah, and of course it probably is crying out for Alphonso Davies as well. We're hoping to get a bit of him today. Not sure how fit he is and how much impact he'll have on the game if he get a chance. But the two coaches, how pivotal will the coaches be? Halftime it's 0-0, but another 45 minutes and possibly more after. How crucial, you did see it's a battle of attrition, which definitely will be, but how crucial or pivotal the coaches will be to this outcome, given what we've seen so far?
Well, what we can say is that Coach Boss, who coaches South Africa, he sticks to his game plan. He doesn't make adjustments. You know, he tells his goalkeeper Williams, play out of the back, use your centre halves, send the fullbacks high, and let us build slowly out. I don't think he's going to change that. And what he's going to do is try and see if he can catch them on the transition, attacking, to see if he can outnumber them numerically up front in that transition.
I know, and what would Jesse be telling his team?
Well, I mean, you saw him remonstrating on the sideline. He wants the team to push high. He wants them to actually make South Africa make mistakes, because if you force them into mistakes, then you get a better chance at scoring. And I think, I don't know if it's conditions, I don't know if the players are, a little bit more reserved, but I'm certain Jesse is saying we are the better team in their minds. They're the better team. Let's go on the front foot. Let's actually bring the game to South Africa. We want to actually win this game. So he is a high tempo coach. He obviously uses the width a lot, and he's just not getting that out of his players. And as you see, Jonathan David got a few chances in and around the area, but still isn't that spark that they're expecting.
Yeah, they're not playing with the red wave behind them, so they'll have to adjust to that as well. Just to remind you that tomorrow we're going to be coming to you live from the Tracks and Record lounge up there at Marketplace, and we start at 11:30, I think. I could have my head if I didn't get that one correct. I think it's 11:30 because the Brazil game is noon, yeah?
That's correct.
So we go live on air at 11:30, and Brazil against Japan. We're lucky fans to get Brazil against Japan this early in the competition. And then we go live as well at 3:30. It's Germany. It's Europe against South America. It's Germany against Paraguay. And that one will be live. And the last game of the day, we won't have a show for that last game. We'll just go directly to the commentators over there in the USA. So it's Brazil against Japan. That's at noon. We go live at 11:30 in the morning. And the Germany against Paraguay, we go live at 3 o'clock for that game. So you can join us if you so desire up at Tracks and Record, or if not, you just tune in live as you've been doing since the start of the World Cup to the station that carries all the games except for I keep saying the last set of games in the group stages. But outside of those, we're carrying all the games. We're the only radio station that is, in fact, we're the only station in the country that's carrying all the games. Yeah, because even the visuals don't carry all the games. So Nationwide is the only station that carrying all the games. So we'll be on air at as early as 11:30 tomorrow for the Brazil versus Japan showdown. Let's go for a very, very quick break. The teams should be getting ready now to reemerge from the tunnels and make their way back onto the field for the start of the second half. Let's go for a quick break and come back.
To Brazil, all you mean? Yeah. Big deal, meal deal, big match. Just buy KFC and win that. From now until July 20th, 2026, buy a big deal or meal deal for a chance to win a trip for 2 to Brazil. Courtesy of KFC. That's $500,000 cash from Best Dressed Chicken. 11 weekly winners score free KFC for a year. 65-inch TVs, smartphones, and more. Just WhatsApp your receipt to 876-784-7811 to enter and win big in the KFC Big League. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries.
It's hard-hitting. It's riveting. It's the much-talked-about cover story during Nationwide at 5. Here Cliff Hughes get to the heart of the story of the day. Cover Story aired 5:30 weekdays during Nationwide at 5. Nationwide at 5. Talk radio at its best. Cover Story.
Cover Story is brought to you by JTA Credit Union, serving our members, impacting lives positively.
Multilink, roll with control. Use Multilink, safe, fast, and accepted in more locations.
You're listening to Nationwide 90 FM's FIFA World Cup 2026 coverage. This broadcast is proudly brought to you by our FIFA World Cup sponsors, KFC, It's Finger Licking Good, Digicel, powered by you, connected by us, Urban Development Corporation, making development happen for you, Sagicor, wise financial thinking for life, National Road Operating and Construction Company, developing tolled roads for national development, Barita, making money work for you, Anybet, your best bet, Hose Assembly and Supply Limited, equipping Jamaica for success. Burger King, have it your way. Nationwide 90 FM's World Cup coverage, bringing you
'38 World Cup. So they just give them one World Cup a break and then they go straight into getting the next one. Well, two and then the next one. But and I wouldn't put it past FIFA giving them, because when the World Cup is in the United States,
money,
it's guaranteed money, guaranteed
money, chiching,
it guaranteed money. And I suppose based on what they've seen in the early stages of this one, they say, you know what, FIFA, we're ready. The president is handing over the World Cup trophy to the winners. It's so many firsts happening. The FIFA president normally gives the host country, the winning country. Well, Uncle Donald said Gianni called him and told him that he wants him to do it. Well, Uncle Donald says so, then Uncle Donald says so. Gentlemen, the teams are getting ready to reemerge from their tunnel. You're the coach of South Africa, Andrew. What would you tell your players now going back out for the next 45 minutes?
That they have to be very circumspect with the ball. Don't turn over the ball, especially outside your 18-yard box, so that they can give Canada opportunities. Keep utilizing the flank. Your speed and pace is on the flank. Utilize the flank and transition and get into the attacking third and try and be clinical when you're in front of goal.
And you think it's going to go the distance?
I believe that. The way the two teams are playing right now, I believe it could go the distance.
You're Jesse Marshall, what are you telling your team coming up?
It's a game of 3 stanzas, so 3 15-minute stanzas. Ensure that you win the first 15 minutes of the second half, and ensure that you win the last 15 minutes of the second half. Depending on what happened, you are literally the host team. You are in the ascendancy. Ensure that you get that early goal very early, that first goal very early, and protect the lead.
All right. And I'm telling you, listeners and viewers, as we get deeper into our shows here, pre-game, halftime, and post-game shows, we're going to be providing you with numbers or platforms in which you can interact with us, whether by calling or sending text messages to the numbers that we're going to provide. And a little later on in the World Cup, we're going to be having prizes that you can win and enjoy. And have, for posterity, you say, when Nationwide brought the World Cup, you won this on the station. The players are re-emerging from their respective dressing rooms. They're heading out to the field now. So what we'll do, we'll head back over to the SoFi Stadium. It's about midday now in California. It's on the U.S. West Coast, so it should be searing. And so the teams are heading back out to restart the game, start of the second half. It's goalless between Canada and South Africa. It's the first game of the round of 32. 3 more tomorrow. Brazil against Japan and Brazil against Japan, Germany, Paraguay. Those games we'll have for you with pre-game shows and all the razzmatazz from Traxon Record. So if you can make your way there, it's a lunchtime kickoff, and the best of the bunch is late in the night at 8 o'clock. Morocco against the Netherlands. There's an expert in the world who picks the World Cup winners for the last 4 years. He says the Netherlands will win, and there are so many things that he used to come to that conclusion. He says the Netherlands will win. Now, if he's right that the Netherlands is going to win the World Cup, many people believe this Morocco team can at the very least get back to the quarterfinals, to the semifinals of the World Cup.
Well, to get past them.
Both can't be right. If the Netherlands is going to win, Morocco can't get to the semis. And if the Netherlands is going to win, they have to beat Morocco. But those are for tomorrow. South Africa making a change. So we're going to head back over to the SoFi Stadium. They call it the Los Angeles Stadium over there in California for the start of half number 2. See you at put it this way. If at the end of 90 minutes we do not have a result, 90 plus minutes we don't have a result, we'll come in and have a chat with you quickly as we get ready for extra time. But if there's a result at the end, we'll just come back to do our post-game show. Let's head back to California.
Them play and please the crowd. Man, them a baller. Man, them a baller.
31 teams remaining in the World Cup. We came into today with 32. The South Africans will be packing and heading back to Johannesburg in a couple of days' time because they were beaten 1-0 by Canada over there at the SoFi Stadium. They call it the Los Angeles Stadium. As I mentioned, FIFA, they've renamed temporarily the names of the stadium to the city that they're in. And so the SoFi Stadium is now the Los Angeles Stadium. Steven Eustáquio on minute 90+2 getting the crucial goal for the Canadians to take this game by 1-0. Bafana fought all the way, and just as we thought, many of us, that we would be heading to extra time, Eustáquio says, no, I don't want to go into any extra time. I'm going to try to finish this one now. And he finished with a plum. Canada beating South Africa by 1-0. They're both in uncharted territory. The first time both teams are qualifying for the knockout stage of the World Cup. So congratulations to another of the co-hosts. Wow, CONCACAF just rolling on. And of course, the CONCACAF president is from Canada. So he must be a very proud man at the moment. Andrew and Owen are still here with me. Gentlemen, we all thought we were heading for extra time. What happened?
Look that way.
Yeah, it looked that way. But I'll tell you that knockout football is about moments.
Yes.
And Canada took their moment. I think that's really what it was. I mean, it was a game of attrition. Andrew mentioned it. It was down to the wire, half chances, a lot of, could be, should be. But I think in that final last set of moments, Canada really proved that they're the better team. They were a stronger bunch. And then when you have, the quality coming off the bench, like Canada does, I think that made the difference.
Mm-hmm. Andrew, right result, or are you feeling it for the South Africans?
No, I think right result. I mean, Canada, look, they cut above South Africa. They had more clear-cut chances throughout their entire game. Mm-hmm. And as I said at halftime, they just need to be more clinical in front of goal. And I think the change of bringing in Captain
yes.
Alphonso Davies really changed the momentum of the game, and they started to play a lot more freer. They started to go forward a lot more frequently, and Eustáquio came up with that beautiful goal. What a piece of control and skill, to take it down on his chest and volley it past Williams, who was having an outstanding game from South Africa for the entire game. So I think that's the difference, and we said it before the game that we believe that Canada has more quality than the South African team, but the South African gave it a good shot.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm happy you say you're not too sorry for the South Africans. They may not feel too bad for themselves
and
either.
By the way, Wayne, they have to travel tomorrow. That's the rule in FIFA.
Right.
Once you lose, you leave the next day.
The very next day. Okay. The South Africans, I mean, they would have wanted to go to the round of 16, but when they look over the other side to see who they'll be playing, Morocco or the Netherlands, they say, maybe we go home now.
The worst poison would be expecting them.
So if you're joining us for the first time, the first game in the round of 32 done and dusted. I was told by my producer, Adric Swaby, that we're going to hang around for a little bit. So maybe or hopefully he can supply me with a number. We probably could engage our viewers and listeners and to sort of get an insight into what they're thinking, the result, the outcome of this game, what's their thought on the World Cup so far. So Belgium, was it yesterday? Finally, I don't know. I probably really do not know what to make of this Belgium team, but it's one of those countries that, in terms of their football, you love to hate because they come in looking good and then, at the end of the day, anything. But good run for South Africa, though. Very good run for South Africa.
Extremely good run. Ronwell Williams in goal, I think, is one of South Africa's or the continent's better goalkeepers. I think you saw that today. Strategically, they had a number of new young players in their lineup, especially that central defender. And I think, it shows they have quality around, not the traditional South Africans that you were expecting to kick it long, and there are a lot of skillful players, and I think they held their own. They were very disciplined. After that first game, you thought, boy, things could have gone really awry for them after that Mexico defeat, but going forward, I think they strategically fix things, and this is a very good performance. They had nothing to, hang their heads in shame about.
Yeah. I don't know. Every time I see a CONCACAF team advance, I start to the whole thing. Start to wonder when we're going to get back.
Don't go there.
No, you can't help it. You can't help it. You can't help it because suddenly when you have Curacao to compete with, we have Haiti to compete with now. We've got Panama, the US and Canada and Mexico to come back. So when you see a CONCACAF team advancing, you start now to wonder, is it making it more difficult now for us to do? But let's see, because we're really in a predicament at the moment in Jamaica. Because I tell you this, most of the social media postings that I've seen throughout the World Cup, every time a CONCACAF team does well, people just get crazy and start to cuss the JFF. So
bad memories.
All right, so
no, definitely not. And you mentioned it. I wanted to bring it back up. No, definitely not. And you mentioned it. I wanted to bring it back up because, in that moment as a player, pressure situation, you definitely think that, that could have easily been sliced wide or skied, but he was very controlled. He's a general. He's a midfielder. And you saw where with the introduction of a few players, he got the chance to play higher, which, as you notice, if you go back to the play, it was a cross coming from the right side. It was headed out, and he got that one time from, the top of the box, controlled it, and drove it in the ground first, got past the goalkeeper. I think it was a very good goal.
Yeah. I'm just going back to what you just said about leaving the very next day. So how does that work for the very next day?
Yeah, man, backpack.
There's always contingencies by FIFA. And any of the teams that lost today, there would have been arrangements for them.
A flight will be ready for them tomorrow.
Tomorrow.
Yeah. Did you hear that?
FIFA doesn't want to pay any extra money.
Yeah.
So once you're finished, you definitely leave out.
So did you hear that the Uruguay Federation,
yes, I heard that.
They canceled the private flight to take the players back to Montevideo.
So they have to take a commercial jet.
Yeah.
Come on. You're represented on the greatest stage. That private flight would have already been there. Why cancel it?
Some people don't handle losing well.
Yeah, and definitely you'd expect that Uruguay would have gone through. It was a disappointment, actually a national disaster, I suspect. So
call it punishment.
Yeah, it's their way of saying you didn't do us well, then we're gonna put you through the harshest
Getting
conditions.
to the World Cup it's only 14.
No, that's I guess again chalk to cheese for Uruguay. Getting to the World Cup should be standard for them. Getting to the round of 32, that is where we're talking about football.
All right, they're the only South American team that did not make the round of 32.
That's what I'm realizing.
The only one.
South Africa. All right, I hear that we have an interview right now. Let's go right to it.
Oh, we can only thank him for giving us that belief, the hope.
reminding him that he said this would be his last tournament before going into retirement. But then he says it's a decision that's not going to be very easy to make, which clearly means he's not yet made the decision to step away. Let's wish him all the best, whichever decision he comes to. And before that, you heard from Stefan Eustachio, the goal scorer for Canada, who will go down in the history of World Cup football as the first man to score a goal in the round of 32. They've never had a round of 32 at the World Cup, so he goes down in history as the man to score that goal. All right, when the Canada team, you mentioned, and quite rightly so, when Alfonso came onto the field, you could see the difference. There was a spark in it, and it tells you how much importance they'll place on his readiness, because he's clearly not back to full fitness just yet, fit enough to come on for the minutes that he came in for. But going forward, they're going to have about 4 or 5 days before they get into that round of 16 showdown. Should be much fitter. He's going to be very, very crucial, because he's going to come up against two extremely quality football teams.
You're right. And again, as the coach, you definitely want to have your best players out there. You're going to be looking at the film, determining what worked, what didn't work. And obviously we saw when he came onto the park, everything started clicking a little bit more. Yes, you could argue that, South Africa had tired legs, and he was brought on when, they were already consolidating what they thought would have been, a game that would have gone into extra time. But no question about the quality of Alfonso. Not only is he their leader, he's their best player.
Yes.
So, again, his importance cannot be understated, and it showed. Eustachio was the standing captain on the day, captain-like performance, but again yielded to Alfonso. And then you saw where Davis came on, he wasn't as sharp. There are a few tackles that he pulled out of, obviously, coming off that injury. So he'll be considering, those kinds of decisions. But, in modern football, the coaches, the players have those types of relationships. Depending on who you're playing, depending on the matchup, you definitely want to know you have your best team going out there. And those are going to be tough decisions for Jesse going forward.
So if you're listening to us and want to be a part of the show, or watching us on Nationwide TV, it's 630-9371, and it goes right the way up to 4. So you can call us if you feel like doing so. Have a chat with us. Tell us your best moment at the World Cup so far, who you think will win the World Cup, who's your team. Let me repeat the number. It's 630-9371, and it goes up to 4. So call in and have a chat with us. At this junction, we're going to take a very, very quick break and come back to continue our discussions. Canada beating South Africa by 1-0. Stefan Eustachio getting the goal on minute number 90+2 to send the Canadians into the round of 16, where they'll face the Netherlands or Morocco.
Big deal, meal deal, big match. Just buy KFC and win that. From now until July 20th, 2026, buy a big deal or meal deal for a chance to win a trip for 2 to Brazil. Courtesy of KFC. That's $500,000 cash from Best Dressed Chicken. 11 weekly winners score free KFC for a year. 65-inch TVs, smartphones, and more. Just WhatsApp your receipt to 876-784-7811 to enter and win big in the KFC Big League. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries.
Here's Mbappe! Oh my word!
Radio coverage of the FIFA World Cup has never been this pivotal.
The 2026 staging will be a drive-time event. Given the times, the games will be played.
You'll definitely be on the move during a large portion of the games, or unable to be in front of a television.
And that makes a nationwide coverage of the World Cup even more important, as you'll not miss a beat, whether you're in your car or generally on the move.
Alvaro Pereira hit by James! Oh, what a goal!
So make Nationwide 90 FM your company, your partner, and your source for unmatched coverage of the FIFA World Cup finals this summer.
Now they have got 7. It's Brazil 1.
Take us with you every move you make. June 11 to July 19, when the champions of the world are crowned.
Nationwide 90 FM, Nationwide TV. We're looking back at the Canada-South Africa game. Of course, we're going to look ahead to the 3 big games tomorrow. And we remind you that we're coming to you live from Traxon Records in Marketplace. We go on air at 11:30 to build up to Brazil against Japan. And then at 3 o'clock, we go back on air to build up to Germany against Paraguay. And for me, the pick of the bunch will come a little later on in the evening at 8 o'clock. You'll be off the road. Hopefully, by then, to get home, have a shower, and get right in front of your TV with whatever your favorite drink is and your meal to enjoy what is expected to be a classic between Morocco and the Netherlands. Again, if you want to talk to us or share your thoughts on the World Cup, feel free to do so. And you can do so at 630-9371-4. That's 630-9371-4. Call and Ali will press you through, and we'll talk about it. All right, gentlemen, I don't know, it feels strange not having another game to look forward to today.
Yes, it's unusual. You normally have this feeling on the opening day.
Right.
Yes.
But the first day of the round of 32, I was expecting a couple games. But, hey, it's FIFA.
Yeah, I was just in the passage and I said, okay, I'm going to rush home to watch what now? Which of the games? Not realizing that's just one game. Because even on the opening day, we had 2 games and so on. But the game between Brazil and Japan was scheduled for today. Yeah. It was pushed back by FIFA. It was pushed back.
Yeah.
So we actually should have had 2 games, yes.
Okay.
We should have had 2 games today for the Brazil-Japan game.
Like I said, it's FIFA.
It's pushed back, right? And they're trying to capitalize in every way they can.
Commercial.
There you go. All right, so gentlemen, we have 3 games tomorrow. I think we've said all we could about the South Africa against Canada game. Well done, South Africa. Better luck next time. Clearly one of the continent's better teams, and you look forward to seeing them qualify for another World Cup. But we've got 3 tantalizing fixtures tomorrow, and I suppose most eyes will be on the first one, Brazil against Japan. This love affair and obsession with Brazil must be studied. The people who support Brazil, they don't just support a football team. They go deeper. When you talk to these people who support Brazil, you get a different sort of dynamic from them as you'd get from anybody else. It needs to be. Look at the crowds that we see in Trenchtown. Yeah. I know here it's on Mountain View, and it's replicated right around the world.
It's a cult.
How?
It's a cult. It's hero worship.
But the team is not.
It is not, but guess what?
Yeah.
People have grown up in households that their parents supported Brazil from the 70s, and it has just gone on throughout generations, where I don't think there's any country in the world that supports Brazil as heavily as Jamaica.
You think so?
I don't think so.
I mean,
I don't think so.
I agree. Culturally,
I hear Africa is not normal, you know?
True, but I think Jamaica is just we religiously. If you ask every man in the street, if you ask 10 people in the street, you get about 7 people say,
man.
I'm a Brazilian fan.
Man.
I'm a Brazilian
I agree with that.
I would push it as probably 8 out of 10 will say.
Exactly.
But
even the new generation supporting Brazil, and I'm asking why they support Brazil, because Brazil is not the Brazil that you and other people.
And like I said, Wayne, it's just household. You know, you grow up in a house where everybody, your father, your brother, everybody supporting Brazil.
And I can understand why those would support Brazil, because the football Brazil played then, it was just marvelous. Everybody would fall in love with it. But the Brazil today, how does somebody born in 2010 support Brazil still?
Yeah, I would say it's less about the football and more about the cultural nuance. I think Jamaica is very close to Brazil when it comes down to a lot of the cultural stuff. If you notice, a lot of the carnival-related activities come into Jamaica. And the flair and the style of play, I think that's one of the things that we love most about football. It's not the tactical, methodical play. So you'll find less people supporting the European teams and more the South American style of play. So if it's not Brazil, it's Argentina. If it's not Argentina, it's then now an individual player.
And of course, you can't leave out the fact that there's so many black players on the Brazil team anyway. So
correct.
Plus, the greatest of them all.
And guess what? Even when Brazil comes into the World Cup with a weak team,
still
everybody says Brazil going away. Brazil going away.
No, man, that needs to be studied, man. It's as you say, it's a cult.
Yeah, it's a cult.
It's a cult.
Yeah.
The pictures I'm seeing from Trenchtown, I want to not believe them.
Yeah, man.
I want to not believe them because I saw
People
the last World Cup.
painted babies.
I mean, as the game is finished, there is a carnival atmosphere
Yes, man.
along
Yes,
College
man.
Smith Drive.
Yes, man.
It's crazy. All right, so yeah, we have Brazil against Japan on Monday. That's tomorrow. I just think this game has come too soon. I mean, one good team is going to be kicked out, and a very good team is going to be kicked out.
You know, the thing about it, though, Brazil doesn't have the team that it had at yesteryears, but it's still Brazil, and there's high expectation. They're playing against a Japanese team that has done exceedingly well over the last 2 decades. They have constantly improved. They are workhorses. They are good skilled players, and they will pose a real threat for Brazil tomorrow. I think it's going to be Brazil's toughest game for the entire World Cup.
Tougher than Morocco?
Yeah, it's going to be their toughest game because Japan right now are playing good quality football. They're playing total football where they defend well and they attack well and they attack in droves. So it's going to be a good game. Good
Can they beat Brazil?
Look,
not really, no. But can they? Do they have the capability to beat Brazil?
It's possible. Brazil isn't playing the type of football where they are unbeatable. I mean, every game they have looked a little bit better. I still believe that their midfield is a bit suspect with those old legs. And, people like Paqueta, Bruno Guimaraes, all those guys, they're not playing well. I mean, everything is being relied on Vinny. And if Vinny doesn't come to the party, does the team get goals? Brazil will defend well. They have a good defensive unit. They'll defend well. But do they have the creativity to get goals when necessary in this knockout phase? That's the question going to be answered tomorrow.
I think they do. I think they're just not using him, Hendrik.
I think so also. I think he should get more playing time.
Yeah.
But let me tell you something. Ancelotti is a wise old fox. I think he knows what he's doing. And let's see with the round of 32 if the real Brazil will come to the party.
Yeah. Owen, you think Brazil is a shoo-in tomorrow, or Japan has what it takes to beat them?
No, showing in is probably pushing it, but definitely Japan has what it takes to beat Brazil. I mean, Andrew mentioned it. It's not the Brazil of yesteryear. It's not the Seleção who, pass the ball around and, super dominant. And then you play a Japanese team who is very, very competent. They're quick, they're disciplined, and that's what you want for football.
Yeah, they asked the coach upon arrival in the United States if they give him a quarterfinal or a semifinal spot, if he would grab it. He says, no, we don't want it to give us anything. We're here to win the World Cup. He said they're here to win the World Cup.
There you go.
And people hear him say that.
And that's the mentality that teams must have if they come to the World Cup. It's not about participating. Yeah. It's about trying to win it.
Well, one of the big talking points around the Brazil team, though, is Neymar and what sort of impact he can or may or will have on the Brazil team. We saw him in a cameo performance the other day. He came on. How did he look to you guys?
He looked okay. I mean, it's a cameo performance. I mean, Brazil was already up, leading well, comfortably 3-0. And when he came on, the game was basically over.
Correct.
So, he got some touches. And I think that Ancelotti believed that he needed to get a little feel of the ball, moving with the players. You might see a lot more of him tomorrow. He probably won't start, but you'll see a lot more. And I think he has to manage him going into this knockout phase where he's going to probably need him or rely on him a lot further down in the competition. So he's going to have to manage his minutes. So he's going to get limited minutes until there is need for him to play a lot more.
And again, just to piggyback on the point, I think it's the same conversation we just had with Alphonso Davies. Impact player, you're a natural leader in the dressing room, you're best player and notably, superstar in your locker room. You're gonna have to use him at some point, and I think giving him minutes in the last set of games gave the Brazilian fans and the people in and around the team the opportunity to understand and remind yourself what he is capable of. So going forward, I think Ancelotti will use him a little bit more. He will possibly, add that razzmatazz to the Brazilian setup. Is that going to be good enough to get past Japan? Time will tell, but I know that the Japanese is going to structurally set up to be very, very difficult to beat, in open play.
Yeah. The Brazilians, you get the impression, are are respectful. Let me put it that respectful of Carlo Ancelotti.
For sure.
So much so, his initial 3-year deal was extended before the World Cup. So he's going to be there well beyond the World Cup. So they respect him and they give him a project.
Lose or draw.
Exactly. But the question the Brazilians who still respect him are asking, on what basis Hendrick isn't getting game time?
That's a good question.
On what basis? When you look at what he did in Lyon, he sat on the bench for months at Real Madrid, and then they loaned him out, and he exploded in France.
Yeah, again, I think it comes down to, I mean, I'll defer the question really to the coach, but again, it comes down to horses for races. And it really is a matter of personality. You may just notice that Ancelotti generally goes for players who are mercurial in their types of players.
Ranis?
I mean,
Thiago is?
I personally am not the biggest Brazilian fan. I'm not going to be, critiquing too much. But the point is, I'm certain that the coach understands that his job is actually on the line. So while he has an extension, it still doesn't mean he can't get the boot.
Well, the question is loaded because Ancelotti was the man who was at Real, didn't give this boy a game. And if you notice, if you understand how the Brazil team is picked,
correct,
it's not only down to the coach. The federation has a lot to do with who gets into that Brazil team. And many people believe that it was through that route why Hendrick got into the team and not Ancelotti himself. And many people, and with good reason, Andrew, believe that Ancelotti is not a fan of Hendrick for one reason or another, whether it's personal or actually it's football.
Well, I would say to all the Brazilian fans, be patient. You'll see a lot more of Hendrick in the knockout phase. I've seen bits and pieces in the games that he has played, even the pre-World Cup games where he has played a lot of games, where Ancelotti is definitely keeping close tabs on him. Came on in the last 2 games, so I believe that he will feature a lot more as Brazil progress. But he's a young player, and I guess he doesn't want to overwhelm him with too much pressure. But he's definitely...
Why isn't Spain having that problem with that player who's even younger than Hendrick?
Well, coaches, there are different coaches and different ways to manage players, and I guess Ancelotti wants to manage him wisely.
Different philosophies, different coaches, different system. But the point is taken, and I actually, it's a question that needs to be asked, especially if you don't move past this Japanese team. Right. What would have been and what could have been. So we're here with a lot of permutation, but I think
I think not meaning to interrupt you, but I think the main question tomorrow, who does he start at centre forward? That's the question tomorrow. Ryan has been playing out on the right flank,
right,
and you have Vinny playing central. Who is going to be that point person at centre forward tomorrow? And I think you might be properly surprised if you see Hendrick play tomorrow.
So Konya is still on the bench?
Possibly.
I
mean, Konya is playing well.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong, and he played extremely well. But I look at the dynamics of coaches, and coaches have certain traits. And I believe, depending on the type of opposition, they will play certain players. Hendrick is a player that is needed with his creativity, his speed, his hustle to play against a disciplined, hard-working Japanese team that build their team on good defense and transitioning into attack.
I actually think this would be a nice fit for him to play against the Japanese. I'm just piggybacking on the point you made.
I exactly feel that way.
Yeah.
So let's hope he makes a decision for both of us and the rest of the Brazilian fans.
For me, I don't care about the Brazilians at all. I could care less. I want them to go home tomorrow. All right, we're dead on 4:30:31. We're going to go for another break. We're here just post Canada, South Africa, and looking ahead to the games that we have tomorrow, including we'll be doing all 3 games. We'll carry all 3 games live, but we'll do 2 shows from Tracks and Record on Monday, the first one at 11:30, to get the show on the road with Brazil against Japan. And when we come back from this break, we're going to talk a little bit more about Germany against Paraguay.
FC Big League, join the league. We a trip to Brazil, how you mean? Big deal, meal deal, big match. Just buy KFC and win that. From now until July 20th, 2026, buy a big deal or meal deal for a chance to win a trip for two to Brazil. Courtesy of KFC. That's $500,000 cash from Best Dressed Chicken. 11 weekly winners score free KFC for a year. 65-inch TVs, smartphones, and more. Just WhatsApp your receipt to 876-784-7811 to enter and win big in the KFC Big League. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting, Gaming and Lotteries.
Wake up, Jamaica.
It's another glorious day on Nationwide this morning. From your 6 a.m. alarm to the news at 6. Coming up in the news at 6 to me telling you what's on my mind.
To more news at 7 a.m. Coming up in the news at 7. And then the biggest issues dissected, interrogated and discussed on the front page. Nationwide this morning fires you up and sets you right for the remainder of the day.
And there's much more until 9 a.m. Want to know which roads to avoid on your morning commute?
Time now for Street Smarts 2 with Little McLean.
Listen to Street Smart.
Want to hear more about things happening at the community level outside the bustling corporate area? Listen to Across Jamaica.
George, it's someone's birthday.
Happy birthday, yeah, my friend.
And that someone will hear a special greeting every morning via the Birthday Club.
Nationwide this morning on the revolution in media.
It's coffee, tea, and everything else.
For those who want an energetic, rip-roaring start to their day.
Of the FIFA World Cup finals, South Africa against Canada, done and dusted. The Canadians, the North Americans, they're through to the round of 16. The first team to book a spot to the round of 16. Canada will go down in history as the first team to win a round of 32 game. There's never been a round of 32 at the World Cup, so everything that you do from here is going to be of historic nature. Again, if you want to talk to us, you may call us at 630-9371. That's 630-9371. And it goes up to 4 o'clock. There's no more football for the day. We've got 3 more tomorrow. We've already looked at Brazil against Japan. Andrew believes that Brazil will win because he didn't say, but he said Hendrick will get more games in the knockout stage. And in order for him to get more games, they have to win tomorrow. All right, so I do have to ask you, you think Brazil going to... By the way, Andrew, who's your team?
My team is Brazil.
You really were asking that? You
Yes, I
wanted
did.
to know?
Yes, I did. I did. He's being facetious.
Oh.
No. George is his blue and white. So I thought he was with blue and white right along. No. I actually thought he was.
The sky one.
Exactly. I honestly didn't know it was Brazil.
Wait, the man want company,
No, man. No. We don't need a company. We're world champions. We are the world champions. We don't need a company. All right, Germany against Paraguay. Paraguay was underwhelming. In the group stages, they somehow managed to get out of it and into the round of 32. Germany didn't really set the world alight either. There were patches in when you see, the German team and the German performances that we used to. But then again, you see a German team that's flat and almost dead. So I don't know what sort of a confrontation to look forward to tomorrow.
I think Germany will get the better of them tomorrow. I think they have quality players. They have good depth.
Well, have they been playing quality football?
Well, I mean, they have been doing enough to
efficient.
Win. Yes, efficient enough to win the zone, and to be playing a team like Paraguay, which is one of the better third place teams, shows that they did well enough in their group to have gotten out of it to have a matchup against Paraguay, and I believe that they should be easily dispatch Paraguay and then move on to the round of 16 where they'll face a more formidable team. But right now I believe that they have enough depth. Defensively they seem very strong. People like Tar and Rudiger around the back there, Kimmich. They have good quality players in the midfield. People like Sane, Mecha. They have good players. Good players. I mean...
But are they playing good? They're good players, but are they playing good?
They're playing well enough to be where they are now, and that's what you have to do in this competition. Take it game by game. You're as good as your last game.
Are you as emphatic as Andrew with this German team?
No, I think they're very efficient. Coming into the World Cup, they weren't playing well either, so I think that form continued into the World Cup. They've been efficient at what they're doing, but their pedigree, that's what I'll say. I mean, when you look at the matchup, you easily think Germany will win this game. Paraguay is without their standout player, Almiron, and again, they were all underwhelming coming into, this round of 32. So you expect Germany to win, not necessarily by a big score, because they generally don't score a whole lot, except for that last, standout performance against that team from South America.
7-1.
But I suspect, again, when you look at Musiala, when you look at Wirtz, a lot of these players will get a chance to actually, play together in a synchronized way. I keep, mentioning the first 3 games are generally about getting your feet wet. Now it's win or go home.
It's business time.
So you know what is on the line. And if Germany happens to slip in this part of the tournament, it's not going to go down well with a lot of these players. So I think, just the pedigree will come out on top tomorrow.
Did they fail to get out of the group stage in the last 2 World Cup?
They did.
I don't know.
Sometimes you can't live in the past. You have to live in the present. And to be honest, they are still, as Owen said, they still have pedigree. They have good players. So I expect them to get past Paraguay. What they do after Paraguay is a different situation. But the expectation is there that they should get past Paraguay tomorrow.
Just going back to that Almiron, the absence of him because of the red card. He got it for covering his mouth, right?
Yes.
Did you see Jude Bellingham covering his mouth in the game as well?
Several other players would have done it at different points. I mean,
so what happened?
Again,
the referees must do their job,
right?
And
it's not discretionary,
No, that's what I'm saying. The referees must do their job. And when Peter is here tomorrow, Peter Prendergast, I'm going to take him to task about it.
You won't get a chance to take him, because we've replaced Peter with Valden Legister.
Well, even worse. Valden was a FIFA referee also, so I'm going to.
And he's now the referee's representative as well.
Okay, he's the right person we'll have tomorrow to ask those questions. Because once you have a rule, the rule must be across the board.
You can understand that it's discretionary. This one is not.
No.
Once you cover your mouth while talking, then it
you must always use the letter of the law. Simple.
Yes. So neither you give Paraguay any chance to get into the. They're going home tomorrow.
Definitely.
As far as you guys are concerned.
Yeah. Yes.
So Germany into the next round. All right. Why waste time on Paraguay then if you don't think they're going to be good? The big one, and for me, outside of France, Norway, which disappointed, there was a real disappointment. Clearly, the Norwegian didn't want to win. They made 10 changes.
Exactly.
They wanted to play Ivory Coast and not Sweden.
And there are people on yellow cards, and you have to understand, when you reach a stage of the competition, you want to have your strongest team in the knockout phase. So they rested people who were on the cusp of getting another yellow card to miss the game. So, you can't put too much into it. But this matchup between Morocco
and the
Netherlands is a mouth-watering matchup. And I'm telling you, it's going to be one of the bigger games for this World Cup.
I think only Norway, France is bigger so far. The Netherlands against Morocco. How are we so lucky to get this early?
Well, again, expanded tournament, so it would have allowed for that. And then just quality. When you look at Netherlands all around, that's the total football team that most people salivate about. And
I was 74, 78. I've not seen that with them.
Right, but what we've seen so far, this Dutch team, they have all the top talent and they look very business-like. I think that is what is most important. They look like they're here for a tournament and they want to actually, win game by game and strategize. Morocco, I think, is more mercurial. They may not have had all those ambitions of going, all the way to the final, but they want to actually upset. That's my opinion. And I think this is a good chance of upsetting it right now. And if you do that, then everything is possible thereafter.
Why would a Morocco victory be seen as an upset?
Because again,
it's the champions of Africa.
Yeah,
and the semi-finalists at the last World Cup.
That's okay, and that's fine. But both teams, if you look at both teams, which is the better of the two teams, you definitely say no.
I don't think I'll definitely say that.
Well,
this is the only time for the day I'm going to disagree with Owen.
Yes.
Morocco, over the last decade, has built up a resume that is the envy of the world. They have been to the semi-finals of the last World Cup.
They're champions of Africa.
They won the African Nations Cup. They went to the Olympic final.
I didn't even mention.
They also won the last under 20 World Cup.
Okay.
No, we're having a cadre of players, most not even born in Morocco. Most of them play outside or born outside of Morocco. And they have put together a team that is good. And I believe that we'll have an exciting game tomorrow. And it would be the Dutch's folly if they take Morocco lightly tomorrow.
Yeah, and again, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm saying if you look at the two teams, which is the better of the two?
When they play, we know. We can't just look at...
Come on, guys.
But on what basis you say Morocco is...
Names. Names.
Fine.
Just names.
That's the point. That's the point I'm making to you. The names alone, that don't tell you that they're a better team.
Of course not. We're not saying they're a better team.
When I'll just put this into context for you.
Right.
The Netherlands had all these players the last World Cup and didn't progress to the semi-final.
I agree.
Morocco had these players
and went to the semi-final.
So you're saying
what does
Morocco
that mean?
wins tomorrow?
I am saying that it's a possibility.
Yes.
No, of course.
It's a strong possibility.
On what basis
it
you
is
say
not
the
on a
Netherlands
basis
are a
that the
better
Netherlands
team?
are going to win outright.
What have they achieved? What have they done for you to say they're the better team?
I'm saying on
Morocco
paper,
has outplayed them in everywhere they go.
No, man. So on paper, when I look at the like for like, name for name, position for position, I'm going to tell you that I would have Netherlands as a better team. Now, whether or not that will translate to on the pitch tomorrow, that's a different thing. We are trying to talk in the future. But in my opinion,
They're
I'm
more
saying...
popular names.
No, of course. And yes, you know...
Anybody loses tomorrow, it won't be an upset.
Upset, yes.
It won't be.
Correct. So that's what I'm saying. But for sure, Morocco is looking to upset anybody going forward. So whether it be France, Argentina, Brazil, whichever team they play, they're going to create that upset. That's what I'm saying.
I respectfully disagree.
And that's fine. Yeah. That's okay.
Morocco can't upset teams.
Netherlands?
No, I don't think it'd be an upset.
Oh, wow.
It wouldn't be an upset if they beat the Netherlands tomorrow.
Wow.
And I doubt the Netherlands is going to sell favorite tomorrow. I think Morocco will sell favorite tomorrow.
All right.
Yes, I agree. You know, if you look at the odds makers, because Morocco came into the World Cup on a bigger odds than the Netherlands.
Understood.
Yeah.
Understood.
They're the champions of Africa.
Understood.
And they won the championship of Africa after finishing 14th.
Who went through at a higher, win percentage?
Who went through what?
At a higher win percentage. Which
I
one
didn't
of the
check
team?
that. I didn't check
That's
that.
what I'm saying.
I didn't
so
check it.
when you look at it again, guys, I'm not saying either way, whichever team win, they wouldn't deserve it.
Yeah.
We are happy to see this as a nice
but
football
you'd see
treat.
Morocco beating Netherlands as upset.
For tomorrow, yes.
Okay,
yes.
Cool. All right. People, write that down.
Yeah, man. If Morocco beat tomorrow,
it's upset.
It's
Upset
an
the
upset.
Netherlands. And if the Netherlands win Morocco,
it is expected.
By?
No, I don't know what the score
By whom?
is. Oh, no, man.
Expected by whom?
By most people. By most people in the world. Most people in world football will be thinking.
Show me the data.
People.
Show me the data.
I guess if we said that, we expect that Japan should beat Brazil tomorrow.
That would be an upset too. Isn't that an upset?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's
that would be an upset. That
would be more of an upset than the Netherlands.
Yeah, but both would be
losing
upset.
to Morocco.
No, and understood.
Do you realize what's happening
Understood.
here? The Netherlands are what? 15th or 16th? Morocco is 10th in the world.
No.
But how do you upset the number 10 in the world?
No, guys, come on.
We're coming on.
I'm saying. It's easy to use those kinds of statistics to say, okay, who comes in the World Cup as X favorite, Y favorite. We're talking about now the round of 32, quality on the pitch, who would have had the better form going into the game itself. Which of the two teams?
Morocco.
No. Who won their group?
How many points?
Who won their group?
How many points did Netherlands win their group?
7.
Okay.
I don't know how much points. How many points?
I don't know.
Right.
I don't know.
And then you also have to consider who is in your group. Don't say who won your group.
No, man. You see,
Argentina is in a, no. I'm saying to you, you can't just frequently say who in their group, because if you put St. Kitts and Dominica in one group with Jamaica, then over there you put Brazil, Argentina, and one another, and Jamaica win their
don't
group.
use Jamaica.
No, the point I'm making to you, you can't just get up and say who in the group as a show up who is better.
No, you are telling me that Morocco goes in tomorrow as the favorite.
They possibly will sell favorite tomorrow.
And what would have caused that?
They're number 10 in the world. They're the last World Cup semi-finalists. They're champions of Africa. What have the Dutch done?
Okay.
Nothing.
All right, cool.
Nothing. And they were underwhelming in their European qualifiers as well.
Understood.
So the point I'm making, though, is that if Morocco beats them, you shouldn't look at it as an upset.
If Morocco beats them.
Right.
So Morocco should be beating them then?
And it's possible that they're going to do that.
Okay.
It's possible.
All right.
Yeah. All right, we've got 13 minutes to go. We're past the 4:45 break because of Owen. All right, let's go for the break and come back, people. We've got 13 minutes to go. When we come back, we'll continue to look at the World Cup because there's so many other things that we can talk about. All right, it's the round of 32 started today. Canada beating South Africa by 1-0. Stefan Eustáquio. And in case you're joining us, or you're probably coming from under a rock, the World Cup is the biggest thing in the world at the moment, and the scores are all over the place. But we'll make sure that we tell you that Canada beat South Africa by 1-0, and they play Morocco or the Netherlands in the round of 16. Let's go for a break and come back.
Stadium full, nobody else can hold. Football we love with heart and soul. Same time I hear.
Win with KFC, big league, join the league. Win a trip to Brazil, all you mean? Big deal, meal deal, big match. Just buy KFC and win that. From now until July 20th, 2026, buy a big deal or meal deal for a chance to win a trip for two to Brazil. Courtesy of KFC. That's $500,000 cash from Best Dressed Chicken. 11 weekly winners score free KFC for a year. 65-inch TVs, smartphones, and more. Just WhatsApp your receipt to 876-784-7811 to enter and win big in the KFC Big League. Conditions apply. Authorized under Section 58 of the Betting Gaming and Lotteries.
Informative, educational, insightful. Let's talk justice. Tackling topics like constitutional rights and reform, domestic violence, and rights issues that affect you. Let's talk justice every Mondays from 1 to 2 p.m. on Nationwide 90 FM. Call in, share your thoughts, be empowered, know your rights, and let's talk justice, ensuring access to justice for all, courtesy of Jamaicans for Justice.
The odds for tomorrow, and we want to make sure that it's an authentic source we're getting it from. Any Bet is one of those good sources, and of course they are a massive part of our coverage for the World Cup. We were there on Friday during the France-Norway game, and hopefully we'll be back there before the end of the World Cup. But they are a major part of the cadre of sponsors that we have here at Nationwide at 90 FM, bringing you the games from the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Andrew, let me ask you, the attendance at the World Cup, they've broken records for this stage of the tournament, for all tournaments. And before this, you know what record they're breaking? The last 1994 when they were in America. What is with America when they host the World Cup?
Expectation. They want to attend events. They have that population. And you have to look at the build-up of
soccer?
those 350 million people. There are a lot of people from other territories that reside in the United States.
So much I want to get rid of some of them.
I mean, I watched a game last night between Colombia and Portugal. And the Colombians were amassed in the Miami Stadium supporting Colombia. You would think you were in
Medellin or
Bogota or one of those places because of the amount of Colombians that were there. And it's similar. If Mexico was supposed to play in Los Angeles, you'd have an abundance of...
That would be crazy. That would be crazy.
That's exactly my point. That would feel like a home game. They would feel like they're in the Azteca. So there is a crowd-loving, sports-loving people that live in the United States. And a lot of it comes from people who love, as they call it, soccer.
Well,
that's what they call it.
Uncle Donald says he's going to change
he's going to change the name. But believe me, I am not surprised at the attendance records. And it's only going to get better as the tournament progresses.
What's the odds?
right now.
Yes. From whom? No, first of all, tell us the source.
All right, let me have you read the odds. You look at the odds.
Or is any bet here at?
Yes.
Okay. So right now, I'm seeing here Morocco selling favorite. I'm seeing Morocco selling favorite.
No, man, you look well. Look better.
Maybe I'm not seeing well. Tell me what's up. Tell me what's up.
Oh, my goodness.
No. But people, don't follow Owen here.
Andrew.
Ladbrokes you want.
Look, this is any bet. Who's selling at the favorite for tomorrow?
Morocco.
Definitely Netherlands.
Okay.
But
please,
that's
anything we say after but is the right thing. Go right ahead. When you hear somebody say anything will come after but?
But there are several sources for
Ladbroke is showing Morocco as the favorite.
Man, guys, again, we're not arguing about who's the favorites. No. I'm saying, we're going to be treated
what we're quantifying is tomorrow. Any team wins.
Can't be an upset.
It won't be an upset.
That's what we're saying.
That's our
argument. We're not saying Morocco must or will beat the Netherlands. We're just saying if they do.
Or vice versa.
Yeah.
We're just saying if they do. There are two competitive teams.
So you're almost
evenly matched teams.
Okay. Yes. You're saying they're evenly matched, and if any one of the two teams win, it would be okay.
Yeah, you can't call it an upset.
And that's fine.
I wouldn't call it an upset.
And that's fine. That's fine. Okay. Traditionally,
we took about 10 minutes to get there.
No, because
he was going to lose his lunch.
No, man, I still don't agree. I still don't agree with that. Still don't agree with that. But
gentlemen, we're going to get out of here because Andrew Kennan has been here putting the news together. So you'll be stepping in here shortly. We have to clear a commercial. So we've come to the end of our show for today. The first one for the round of 32. We're going to have a show every day, whether we're in the studio or we're on some location on the outside. Tomorrow will be one of those. Tracks and Record will be starting at 11:30. And we'll start with Brazil against Japan. We build up to that one. Who's working tomorrow? You're going to be there?
Yes,
Andrew Price. All right. Then you will be hit there.
There.
Yes. You put in your order? You put in your steam fish order and your cocktail?
Not yet. It depends on how the first game goes.
Oh, boy.
I might be eating lobster.
All right, folks. We've come to the end of the show. Join us again tomorrow. As I mentioned, 11:30 in the morning to build up for Brazil against Japan. Miami, no good again, as they say. Let's see how that one turns out. Then we'll have Germany against Paraguay. And later on at 8 o'clock in the evening, we'll have the Netherlands against Morocco. See you there. Thanks so much for tuning in. We're happy to have your company. I hope you're happy to be with us. And we'll continue to be with each other until July 19 when the champions are decided in New Jersey. Have a good evening.
Nationwide 90 FM has just presented action from the 2026 FIFA World Cup Finals.
Brought to you by our platinum sponsors, KFC, it's finger licking good. Gold sponsors, Digicel. Powered by you, connected by us. Urban Development Corporation, making development happen for you. Sagicor, wise financial thinking for life. National Road Operating and Construction Company, developing tolled roads for national development. Barita, making money work for you. Our silver sponsor, Anybet, and our bronze sponsors, Hose Assembly and Supply Limited, equipping Jamaica for success.
Win with KFC, big league, join the league. Win a trip to Brazil, all you mean? Yeah. Big deal, meal deal, big match. Just buy KFC and win that. From now until July 20th, 2026, buy a big deal or meal deal for a chance to win a trip for two to Brazil. Courtesy of KFC, that's $500,000 cash from Best Dressed Chicken.